what good does it do to have a basketball player around soccer friends? Someone enlighten me. Change my mind, because you won't. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi if you're new here. Thank you for clicking on this video. It's gonna be a fun one because it's kind of gonna be a little bit of a story time and a little bit of comparison of the type of fitness tests that I had to do at the two schools I played basketball at, because they were both so different and I had really weird experiences of both, and it's a good time. I know a lot, and if not every single person that plays a sport has some type of fitness test. We'll get into the video. First school I went to, my incoming freshman year, we had to run 5 miles in 50 minutes. And if you are bad at math, that's a 10-minute mile pace. If you work your way up to it a little bit, that's a pretty easy pace to keep. I would say, like I've mentioned, I am not a sprinter, but I can run some distance. I can do miles. I can just jog it out, all right? And so I worked all summer on that with my dad, because nothing looks worse as a freshman than you coming in not being able to handle a fitness test, especially one that's like that. So I ran anywhere from 2 to 5 miles a day pretty much with my dad all summer long. He's a trooper, because we moved to Georgia. That humidity, we don't experience that in Colorado, and so that was something else on its own. That was what I had to do and what I prepared for, and I knew I could make that. Well, I was gonna make it regardless. I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna be the freshman that doesn't make it. We had to get to the campus on like a Thursday or something, when other students moved in like on a Friday or a Saturday, so that we could get in early. And we wouldn't have workouts until the next Friday. They give you the first week to acclimate. And so as a team, we would go run a few miles here and there. I don't know if I was ready. I don't know what I expected, but it was at like 5 a.m. That's when we had our 5 mile. And like I mentioned, also the track is 1/8 of a mile per lap. And so unlike a normal track, you're doing like 40 laps. That's monotonous and boring. I talked about 3 miles being boring. 5 miles on that thing is boring. It's day 1, 5 a.m. I'm ready to do it, and they tried to like partner us up with people, even though they didn't know anyone's fitness level, to make sure like we stayed accountable and like we held the other person accountable, and like we all like ran. And I was with another freshman, and it was becoming real apparent after we started running that I was gonna have to ditch her pace, because she was not gonna make it and I was gonna make it. I just didn't want to be that freshman that is unprepared, because then you're at already another disadvantage of just being a freshman. And so yeah, ditched her, lapped her eventually, and I'm just running, and they're playing music because it's in our arena on the speakers, but it's kind of like slow jams at 5 a.m. and so our pace is kind of trash. So they turn the music off. You have to run like the second half without music. It's just you and your thoughts. I lost track of whatever lap I was at like 15. And so I'm praying like the assistants that are keeping track are really keeping track, because I've lost it. Get to that final lap, I open my stride and I hit it. And I think I get it in like 48 minutes, 47 minutes. I was like, hell yeah, I made it. I did my part. I was thinking that like if I made the fitness test, I was good, right? No, because 4 or 5, 6 people didn't make it. We were all gonna rerun it again. I don't understand how someone else not being conditioned makes me need to run it again. But I was like, whatever. All right, we had until I think Monday. I think they were like, fine, we'll give you guys the weekend to figure it out, and then on Monday we're gonna run it again at like 5 a.m. And we run it again on Monday at like 5 a.m. or something. I don't know, but we run it. And I make it again in like 46 minutes. She wanted me to get it in 40 minutes, but I don't think she understands the type of speed I lack. Just be happy I made it. And I didn't just barely made it, I was making it by like 5 minutes. But I made it again. Everyone that made it before made it again, a concept. And then those that did not make it the first time did not make it again. weird to like talk about the type of fitness testing you need. Obviously you need to have endurance as a basketball player, but I just think 5 miles is not the type of running we do in basketball. As much as I hate sprints, that's the type of running you need to do. I just thought that was interesting that it was such an endurance test, because everything else we did at that school was so sprint focused, and those are two different types of fitness. Endurance and speed are different, and I lack one. It was tough to translate the fact that I could run for a long time into being able to run short sprints for a long period of time, because it's a lot more exertion, and so I'm super keen on how the 5 miles translated into basketball. At my second school, when I transferred, I was a junior. You know, I had been through the crazy strict sprinting rules like of my first school. When I got to the second school, it was a lot more lax, and I'll do a video on the 2 different types of like coaching styles. It was so different going from my first school to my second school. Our fitness test my junior year was a ladder. So for the ladders test, number is a down. So it was 1, and it's a down, and then it's 3. So you go 1, 2, 3 across the court, and so on. So it went 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and then you went back down 9, 7, 5, 3, 1. And obviously the times on them, I thought were so. I didn't think they are extremely doable. Just a little bit of preparation, because for an example, I mentioned we were doing 36s at my first school, 6 touches, 36 seconds. Well, for our 7 in this ladder, you had 49 seconds. And I was like, that's only 1 extra down with 13 extra seconds. I was like, that is cake. I'm gonna make this. And so I trained with my dad, and I was living in Colorado going down to Florida. And so I did have a little bit of that altitude training on my hands to maybe benefit me, because you know I'm not a sprinter, and I worked for this. I get there thinking, you know, it's gonna be in the first few days of workouts we're gonna have these sprints, but no, we, you know, get there, acclimate, whatever, you know, we don't have our first like workout until Friday after classes begin. Like, yeah, we're just gonna play pickup and do a little conditioning, which pickup was considered our conditioning. And that's bonkers to me, especially coming from my first school. And I do not agree that pickup should be considered conditioning, but we can talk about that. We can talk about that another time. That was our conditioning, and you could tell some people's conditioning levels were different. And so I guess they were just like, you know, we're gonna have you guys do a little bit of running, but a lot of pickup, a lot of playing, so that you can get into that game conditioning. I was like, okay, well, whatever, sure. And weeks go by, and Labor Day weekend, we get that 3 days off, because in preseason, you can't work out on holidays by rules. And I was like, cool, I'm going home. It's a 3-day weekend. So Friday night, I'm about to get on a plane after practice back to Colorado, and he's like, okay guys, we're gonna run it at 6 a.m. on Tuesday. Well, guess what time my flight got in on Tuesday morning? 5:30 a.m. I was like, cool. Thought I was gonna have a fun weekend, get to go home. But no, I have to worry about the fact that I have my fitness test coming back. And I'm coming straight from the airport, and it's our first few weeks at the gym. I don't have my locker with filled with extra clothes for that. I don't have extra clothes at home because all of my basketball clothes come with me, because you go through a lot of workout gear when you have 3 to 4 workouts a day. Didn't pack that because I didn't know. I wasn't going back to my apartment after practice. I was showering at the locker room and going straight to the airport. And I was like, cool. So I had to tell him, I was like, hey, I might be late getting here. I fly in at 5. I don't really know the Miami airport that well. I know now, and I hate it. It is horrible. It does not make sense inside when you're trying to figure out where you're going. And it does not make sense outside when you were trying to pick someone up. It's awful. The traffic at the airport is like the traffic on the highways. It's just, oh, it sucks. I went home, to Colorado that weekend. I went and ran frickin' sprints with my dad my 3-day weekend home, because I wanted to make sure that I could make it. I get back on that airplane and I get in, I might make it on time, and then I make a couple of wrong turns because it's 5 a.m. at an airport I've never driven at, and it's dark out. At last, I had to GPS my way back. I finally get there, you know, I call him, I'm gonna be late, guaranteed gonna be late. And so I get into the gym, just like my other video, I'm running in, hustling, tying my shoes on. And you're like, oh, do a couple warm-up laps, and then you'll be fine. I take 2 jogs around the gym, and then I get in line, and we're in 2 groups. So your break time is the other group's run time. And I run this frickin' ladder, 6 a.m., haven't eaten, probably haven't drank anything, 2 warm-up laps, but I made it. The only hard part, and it's gonna be rather obvious, is running the 9-11-9. 11 touches, that's a lot. And it was like a minute and like 6 or like a minute and 10 seconds of just straight like sprinting, which is a little more basketball related. And so I got that one. I was like, I'm not a sprinter, but I made it. And I thought that one was way more basketball oriented, basically because you're doing sprinting for different periods of time and you're a little tired. That's a little more basketball game like. So we'll just talk about my senior year. Same school now in Florida. Our assistant coach got to take over a lot of our conditioning, which I like conditioning. I'm not good at sprinting and I don't like sprints now, but I know that to be a good like athlete, you need them. Our workouts were like the soccer team's workouts. I don't know if you've ever ran a sprint on a basketball court versus a soccer field, but it's like really different. But when you're running a full sprint from like the whole field, it is a long sprint. And to sprint a full 100% max effort sprint, like that's tough. That's a long ways. I didn't understand why we were doing soccer workouts for basketball. And then she's like, yeah, we're gonna run the pacer test. And I was like, really bad at that. We had to get to like level 16.8 and like the post players had to get to like 16.1 or 16.3, and we weren't running it on the soccer field like you usually do, or we're running it in the gym, running from the baseline to like where the volleyball line, like attack line would be, almost not half court but like past the 3-point line. It was so weird. I think maybe 1 or 2 people made the first one. We were going almost higher than the soccer team had to go, and I was just so confused by it. I was like, what do you mean? And like we had to go give it a try like 3 or 4 more times if you didn't make it. And my beef with it, they weren't looking to see that you this is so stupid. They weren't looking to see that you actually crossed the line in time for the beep. I could have made it. I made it to 16.5, but I kept missing the line. They didn't say anything, and I just stopped because I'm not gonna make it when I didn't actually make it. I think that time even only like 4 people made it. That was bonkers. I don't think we ran it again to make it because I think she realized most people weren't going to make that. And we did a lot of extra conditioning, which although I don't know if I agree with our types of conditioning because they're the soccer team's conditioning and we're not the soccer team. I do appreciate that we did a little more conditioning, not the soccer team's conditioning. It's weird. I don't know. Our soccer coach at that school, she was a beast. I think she played at North Carolina, had like multiple championships. Like she was a beast. But these are 2 different sports. Running full-length soccer field sprints. That's not what sport I'm involved in. If I can find a Snapchat of me after one of those soccer field sprint conditionings, I'll insert it. My friend got a good one. I hated those. Beep test or like Pacers test or whatever we call it was a load of crap. I don't understand why we were running dominantly soccer workouts when we were a basketball program. The length of a soccer field. Just give me a second. Of course it's in yards. A soccer field is 120 yards long. There's 3 feet in a yard. And then a basketball court length, love that I can spell length, is 94 feet. 94 feet compared to 120 times 3, 36. 94 feet compared to 360 feet. For what? Stupid. It's stupid. I did not understand why we were doing them. And also, on top of running like soccer field sprints, she would tell us like what percentage to run them at intensity wise. Like, all right guys, this one's gonna be a 60%. What the hell is a 60% sprint? Like, how do you gauge that? Am I the only one that finds this weird? I think it's freaking weird. No, I don't get that. That was my, I'm not gonna say that was my biggest pet peeve with our assistant coach or my coach, but that was one of my biggest pet peeves, is we were running predominantly soccer based workouts. The pacer or beeper test, whatever it's called, yo-yo, who knows? She didn't know. We're running 360 feet compared to 90. Like, who is that helping? Not a basketball athlete. A soccer athlete, sure. A field sport athlete, sure. But what good does it do to have a basketball player run soccer sprints? Someone enlighten me. Change my mind, because you won't. But okay, we'll end it on that before I go off on an even bigger tangent. Let me know if you have had any workouts or conditioning experiences that you just aren't hella keen on. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you like it, and because it really supports my channel. I really appreciate everyone that has been supporting me and joined this community. I really appreciate it, and I'm so excited to continue talking about my basketball experience and my life experiences and just showing you guys some fun stuff. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe down below, and I will see you guys next time.